half, I said, everybody here's got a choice. You got a choice to make. What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to do? Everybody's got to choose what they want. And we went out and scored in 2 plays in the second half in the first drive on offense and changed the momentum of the game and, played really well from that time on. And, Tennessee's got a really good team. And, I'm really proud of our players for the way they competed in the game and came back and the way they took care of business in the second half. But, we got a bye week coming up, so probably need to get a little rest for some of our guys. And, but, we got more business to take care of in the future. But for right now, everybody should enjoy this. It's a great win for us. We had a great atmosphere in the stadium. Our fans were fantastic. They had a huge impact on the game in terms of the penalties at the end of the game and not allowing them to score. So I just can't tell you how pleased and proud I am with everybody in the organization who puts a lot into it so that we can, have games like this, have atmospheres like this, and have the opportunity to compete like this for our players. So really, really proud of our team. And it was a great team win. I mean, 27-0 in the second half was pretty good offense and really good defense.
That fourth down stop in I think it was the third quarter, I guess a good rushing offense. But what was the key there? What were some of the points that you guys made to the defense?
Are you talking about the one in the second half? Yeah, well, we had they like to get in bunch. So, we had a kind of a check defense to go to get in like a gap 8 with 2 double edges and 4 spoke secondary to try to roll if they brought the ball to the perimeter. So the guys up front just knocked them back. I mean, and that was a huge stop in the game. Had 2 fourth down stops in the game. Were really huge.
Nick, you kind of hit on it in your opening statement, but why was it important for you to run over to the fans and thank them for their performance out there today?
Well, I know how much it means to, our fans, this game, the rivalry of this game in Tennessee, but I also wanted to thank them because of, what a great job they did, the impact that they had on the game, the atmosphere in the game. I think it kept the energy level up, for our team and kept the momentum rolling in the second half for us. So it was fantastic. And I wish I could thank each one of them personally.
Charlie, you mentioned the second half of the defense. Just what was maybe the biggest adjustment, if at all, that you guys made?
Yeah, well, in the beginning of the game, we were trying to play odd because we were really trying to stop the run. And, they hit the big pass. We were in odd, kind of didn't play the coverage exactly right, but for, the first touchdown. But, as the game went on, we started playing a little more even, started playing things that we, had played in the past. And I think the players did a really good job. It helped us rush the passer better. Players just did a good job of adapting. We got a better 4-man rush out of it and played, more of the kind of coverages that we normally play with 4-man rushing rather than 8 drops.
Fam, what's up? Kyle Anderson, Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys joining me this morning. Roll Tide to you. I hope you had a nice cigar last night as Alabama defeats Tennessee 34-21 to take your calls this morning as we break down Alabama versus Tennessee. Again, I'll be on tonight this evening. So if you don't get in today, you can call in tonight on my evening show, which will be at 7 p.m. We might have to adjust the time based off the Dolphins and the Eagles playing. So I will keep you posted. So just hit that notification button so you do know when we drop content, when I do go live, things like that. I appreciate you guys' support, and I encourage you guys to become a fan funder. How do you do that? You put the join button anywhere on the screen. You'll see it on the homepage. You'll see it underneath videos. It says join fan funding. I really appreciate you guys. Super chats as well. With that said, Alabama defeats Tennessee. And I thought that second half play was really remarkable, honestly, to go down at the break 20-7, didn't have momentum. And then you come out and you outscore Tennessee 27 to 0. I mean, someone said there was like a viral tweet going around that Miss Terry was seen leaving the locker room. And I thought that was hilarious. It's like Miss T had it again, right? So Alabama now 7-1 overall, 5-0 in conference play. and has won 6 consecutive games in a row, which is really remarkable to see this team's growth and the continued maturity of this team. There's a lot of takeaways, and I want to get your calls. And with that, we'll go right to the phone line. Again, you can call in at 205-850-1994. We have plenty of room this morning. If you do hear the busy line, that means that the phone lines are taken. But with that said, we will go to the phone lines. And then on the right of me, I'm going to put, actually, that'd be on the left. I'm going to put the college football rankings. Just for sake, I mean, these are the AP rankings. And as you know, Alabama outside of the AP rankings, the college football rankings do drop on October 31st. But here's a look at the AP poll. And as someone said inside the comment box, in the ESPN Power Rankings, that's BJ Cleveland says Alabama is number 9. I was just looking at that. That's where I had Alabama last week. But we'll take your calls and let's dive into it. And our first caller is 470. Let's do it right now. Hey, good morning. Thanks for being patient. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with and where you calling in from? What's up, man? Good morning. I appreciate you calling in. Alabama defeats Tennessee 34-20. Was a tell of 2 halves, obviously, with the Crimson Tide outscoring Tennessee 27-0 in the second half. Your takes, man. Welcome to the show. Oh, you know what? Hold on, Andrew, because people are saying that they can't hear. Can you guys hear? Give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear inside the comment box. Can you guys hear Andrew? All right, let me just make sure. Oh, let me just make sure that we're good to go. Sorry about that. All right, let's check it. Andrew, are you there?
Yeah.
All right, man, we should be good to go. All right, go ahead. Take it away, man. So let's start from the top. Alabama defeats Tennessee 34-20. Your take on the game, man. Go ahead.
That was rough, man. First half, that was really rough. But, you know, I knew I had faith in this team. I knew that we were going to come out of the locker room, totally different team. And, man, we were a totally different team. We outschooled Tennessee 27-0 in the second half. Just dominated the second half.
Yeah.
Which was just amazing. I don't even know how many rushing yards we had. We had, like, I think close to 100 rushing yards, not a little bit more. And then Jalen Murrow put up some pass numbers, too, which is really impressive to see. And then my favorite part, man, was that Scoop and Schoolville.
Yeah.
By Jahad Campbell. That was my favorite. That was really something to see. Yeah, the other thing that I'm laughing my butt off now is all these Tennessee fans complaining about the reffing. You want to complain about the officiating? That officiating last year was horrible for us, man.
Yeah.
These refs always try to screw Alabama in these close games. I'm sorry, when you get outscored 27-0, that ain't the refs, bro. That ain't on the refs. I'm only 18, so I wasn't smoking those cigars, but maybe next time. But, man, that was really enjoyable. The win was really great. Like I said, we struggled. But this team is resilient.
Yeah.
Resiliency, man. And I like that. And it ain't how you start a game, it's how you finish. And this team always finishes. And I'd rather have a team that doesn't start strong and finish strong than start strong and doesn't finish strong. So, we got the bye week next week, and then we go to LSU. And I think that LSU game, I hope we put it together in that game because, we saw what we did when we played two good quarters of football. So if we can play 4 quarters of football, I don't think LSU stands a chance. So I hope we can do that next week. But looking back at this game, man, that second half, man, it was just dominant. We ran over them. We were throwing over them. Just putting in nothing on offense. I don't know how many sacks we got, but we got a few sacks on Joe Milton. They just couldn't do nothing. We just shut them down on defense, and our offense, man, they didn't look back. They were explosive. And that, what was it, like a 40-yard touchdown pass, Isaiah Bond? That was explosive. He was wide open. And then we had some, I think Jason McClellan got 1 touchdown and just walked right into the end zone, No one even touched him. So that was old school Alabama right there. But, man, it was dominant performance, man. That's all I can say. It was just dominant. And then obviously that first half, dude, that was really bad. So we can't get down like that again, Because if we do that against LSU, because they have an explosive offense.
Mm-hmm.
They have a really explosive offense. So we cannot get down like that against LSU because I don't know if we can come back. So I think next 2 weeks from now, I think we got to start off strong. We cannot get down like that, and we just got to pull away from LSU. Our defense has to dominate, and our offense has got to keep up, man. They can't come out in the second half. They got to play the whole time because that game could have been totally different. If our offense would have kept up, we could have blown them out from the beginning. But because our offense couldn't keep up, put a lot of pressure on the defense, and they were bending. And luckily, they held up to only 20, and then our offense was able to bounce back in the second. But easily, it could have been a blowout for Alabama. The offense didn't bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
So against LSU, the offense has got to bounce. They got to keep up, man. They cannot keep doing 3 and outs and not putting up points, or LSU is going to beat us really bad. So I think the defense is good. So as long as the offense keeps up and has these long drives, puts them to points, gives the defense a rest, dude, will be good. But like I said, we can't keep playing like this. Only playing 2 quarters because LSU is going to beat us. Kentucky probably won't beat us, but in the Iron Bowl, we play like that, we're going to get our asses handed to us at Jordan here, bro. It ain't going to be pretty. In Georgia, man, they're going to run over us if we play like that. So I'm enjoying the win. It was a good win, but we got to play better, dude. We have got to play better. I hate being pessimistic like that. I like to be optimistic. I'm going to be optimistic and say that won't happen again.
Mm-hmm.
But man, that was rough, man. But like I said, second half was amazing. So if we can play like we did in the second half for 60 minutes, every football game the rest of the season, we're going to win out no problem, dude. And Georgia ain't even going to touch us. If we play like that, Georgia cannot compete with us. So we got to play like we did in the second half. We got to be consistent. But the penalties, that's one thing I will say. We only had 1 penalty for 5 yards. So that was impressive.
Yeah.
So we had a lot more discipline. And that D line, dude, they were knocking over those Tennessee O linemen, dude, just running all over them, dude. That was really something. That our defense is dominant. Like I said, dude, our offense gotta keep up, man. I can't stress that anymore. But I was impressed. Only 1 penalty, had a lot more discipline.
Mm-hmm.
And the defense is really physical, man. I love how physical that defense is. It's just the offense has got to keep up. And I think if the offense keeps up and our defense keeps playing the way they do, I think we'll be all right. And it is good to see we only had 1 penalty, though. That's really huge. It means our guys are really getting more discipline and they're able to play well under pressure and stuff. That's really good. That's exciting to see that. Some other teams in the top 10 struggled. Texas struggled.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma struggled.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia had a bye week. Michigan was dominant. Ohio State and Penn State, that was a good game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Alabama will definitely move up in the rankings. But like I said, I think we can beat any team in the top 10 if we play like we did in that second half because most of those top 10 teams did not look good, except Michigan. They dominated Michigan State. But so I'm confident in this team. We still got a lot of growing. That was like a B+ performance. That was not our best football.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if we can keep improving each week and just play a whole 60 minutes of football, we're gonna be all right. But we cannot get behind like that again. That's all I got for you, Kyle, man. We got to keep improving, man, and we got to play a whole 60 minutes of football because if we play a whole 60 minutes of football, I don't think anyone's stopping us, man. I don't think anyone can compete, man.
Yep.
We just got to do it, bro. We got to put it together, That's all there is to say.
Andrew,
but I appreciate the show, Kyle.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you batting leadoff, man, and we'll catch up with you either tonight or next time.
All right, man. Roll Tide.
All right, roll Tide to you. That was Andrew out in Douglasville. I appreciate him starting off the show. What's good? It's Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube, hit the thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe. Alabama defeats Tennessee by a score of 34-20. It was a game of two halves as Alabama outscored Tennessee 27-0 in that second half. And as Andrew pointed out, and one of the questions that we didn't even ask Coach Saban was, Alabama only had one penalty last night for 5 yards. Can you imagine if they go the entire game with no penalties compared to last year's game against Tennessee, where they had like 15 or something like that? And for Tennessee fans complaining about the officiating, I mean, they missed that Roydell Williams call when the dude literally came in and just cold cocked him. I mean, that was I cannot believe that they missed that penalty. That was one of the marquee moments of that game. I just cannot believe it. Alabama, we'll get to our next caller. It's a 470. I'll get to you in just a second. I think when we look to the game last night, there were some explosive plays there in that second half. I mean, it was amazing that Alabama was able to put together, what was it, a 2-play drive with a big run by Jace and then a 46-yard touchdown pass from Milroe to 007 to put Alabama back in it at 20-14, and then a 42-yarder from Will Reichard, and then a 5-yard touchdown run made it 24-20 Alabama. But one of the marquee moments of this game happened when Will Reichard comes in the fourth quarter and knocks down a field goal. So it was 8-17 in the fourth quarter, and Jalen Milroe got absolutely tagged. Alabama's offense has now allowed 35 sacks this season, and 30 of those have been against Milroe. We've already discussed kind of the offensive line woes, and some of that has been Jalen Milroe not getting rid of the football. Whatever the case is, he got completely tagged. So Will Reichard comes in. The score is 27-20 at this point, or 24-20 at this point, and he knocks down a 50-yard field goal. And the reason I think that was such a monumental moment in that game, because this was a game of the momentums, right? Like when Alabama got the momentum back in that second half, they never gave the momentum back to Tennessee at all. But that one continued to add momentum with the 50-yard boot right down the uprights to make it 27-20. And considering he missed the field goal last year against Tennessee, I knew Will Reichard would come through. He hits a 50 and a 42 last night. And then Jahad Campbell ending it off, cherry on top of the 24-yard scoop and score to make the final 34-20. With that, we go back to the phone lines. Call-in line is 205-850-1994. If you call in and it is busy, just call back and lines will open up. But there's plenty of room today. And I want to get your take inside the college football top 10 in terms of the AP. So you got Georgia. They were open. Michigan, they looked dominant. Ohio State beat Penn State, which I thought was a good victory. Ohio State's a good team. We know that. That's a quality win. You got Florida State. They were actually tied with Duke, or they were trailing Duke, and then they came back to put Duke away. So Florida State, once again, wins. And then you have Washington in Arizona playing in some Pac-12 after dark football. Arizona State is leading that game, and then Washington has to come from behind in the fourth quarter to beat Arizona. And you could say that was kind of a rollover game from last week, the emotion or whatever. But I don't trust these Pac-12 teams. I know a lot of people out there like Oregon and the coach, and I think they're doing a fine job, but we continue to see this. Those games get squirrely against weird teams. And the same thing with the Big 12. I mean, Oklahoma on the ropes against Central Florida. I mean, that's just these teams, all these teams right here are capable to continue to lose. So with that said, I think Alabama will jump back into the top 10. Does it matter right now? Not necessarily, because the college football playoff rankings drop on October 31st. But whatever the case is, Alabama certainly trending upwards. And this is a big win for a team that needed it going into the bye week. With that said, we go right to our next caller. It's a 470. Hey, good morning. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm in line with, and where are you calling in from?
What's up, Kyle? It's Chance from Emerson, Georgia.
Hey, what's up, Chance? I appreciate you joining me, man. Welcome to the show. Take it away.
Oh yeah, man. Well, that was awesome. I found myself cussing at the TV the first half. But man, if there's anything we can say about this team is that they do not give up, man.
Yeah.
They just don't. They do not hang their head and stroll off the field like they can't come back. Like, and that was even in week 2 against Texas. Like you can put the game on Milroe's back, and he will do something to get it back going again. That interception wasn't his fault. Jermaine Burton had a 50-50 ball that he should have caught. He should have caught it, but he didn't. I don't think that interception was on him at all. But yeah, I was excited. The defense shows out. And that's like I've been saying, that's what we can hang our hat on for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
was
I thought
I was happy to see Jace get his.
I thought like you with that
Go ahead, Joe.
that 50-50 ball. That wasn't necessarily like one of those interceptions that I thought was a bad ball or whatever. That he's thrown in the past. Now has 5 interceptions thrown on the season. What about that catch that Jermaine Burton had? That was crazy, right? Like Burton he's playing amped up, and that catch that he had where he like kind of like snagged the ball out, that was crazy.
Dude, he's a dog,
He
bro.
is.
Yeah, and then the one that he had in the end zone, he straight kicked that dude off of him. Like he just, I mean, he is trunk every game. Like yeah. I love it. I'm all about it, man. I mean, I think he'll cut that crap out when he gets to the NFL because them guys think the same. They ain't gonna put up with that mess.
What were you thinking at halftime when Bama was down 20-17? Or 20-7, I'm sorry.
It was looking bleak. It was looking bleak, bro.
Yeah.
And I had took my kids and my wife out to a trunk or treat.
Uh-huh.
So, like, my phone was dying. And I was like, give me your phone. I got to see what's going on with the game, like, right now. So I ended up with her phone and, like, trying to give my kids candy and at the same time looking at the game. And then I'd holler and scream, and all the people would look at me like, what's going on? It was awesome, though. But, yeah, I mean, that's just the one thing that surprised me is that like I didn't bank on that Jace would have such a nice run when we came back out, you know, and then to drop a bomb to Isaiah Bond right after that. I mean, that's what this team does, and I've accepted it. That you can't look at the scoreboard and think that that's the end result because it's not going to be. You know, like they're gonna keep fighting to the end. You know, and we can also count on the defense making a play. Mm-hmm. Whether it's a pick six or I don't think they've done this good in the last couple of years at all. I mean, and please get Kool-Aid out of punt returns. There ain't no reason for him to be back there. Mm-hmm. I mean, I love him and everything, but like, it just seems like I don't think he's afraid of contact, but like put Kendrick Law back there. That's who I think should be back there myself.
Kendrick Law, I mean, I'm telling you, and you guys know that I love the 49ers. He reminds me of Debo. Like, the dude is jacked. He runs hard. He's huge. I mean, what is he, like 215 or something like that? I mean, get him. I love last night they were able to use him on kind of like one of those, like those pitches, those jet sweeps across. He runs so hard. He returns kicks. He would be before you said put him back there and over Kool-Aid, I was going to say that same thing. And I think I was texting with somebody. We said the same thing. So I guess I'd have to see in the pregame if he is returning punts as well, like as a backup. But he seems like the perfect guy because he needs more opportunities. Like it's amazing to think that Kobe, Kendrick, and Isaiah Bond, those guys are sophomores, which is amazing because each of those guys is ultra talented. And people inside the comment box asking about Ja'Cory Brooks, and they're like, is he suspended or something like that? Honestly, I think Burton is wide receiver number 1. I think that Bond, Prentice, Law, those guys are trying to get fed. They're trying to get those playmakers the ball. I think Malik Benson is kind of, is there, but, I think those guys have surpassed Brooks. And, I mean, he's still got a pass every now and then, but, I mean, I think he's been surpassed by other guys. What else when you're kind of – yeah,
and
right?
I don't think it's nothing that he's done, or lack thereof. I think that it's just who's ever on fire at that time. That's who you got to go with. Yeah. And as far as and I want to speak on the running game for a second because I think against Arkansas, and I think the whole year we've been talking about wanting to do a running by committee, and I'm all for now. Richard Young, he was one who I really wanted to see because he was a dog in that Middle Tennessee game. He had that one run where he was just bulldozing people over. Mm-hmm. So I think he's another one that we're going to see. But like that one that Justice had, like he got pancaked, man. Yeah. and got Miro sacked against that Arkansas game. So I mean, there's things they still got to learn that I think is going to help them out in the long run. But yeah, you're right. I mean, there's just so much firepower all around there that you can't exactly just put anybody out there and try to get them going. I mean, And the plays are getting more creative too, just like that one you mentioned with Kendrick Law, getting that little pitch right there. I mean, even an announcer said something about it, how it's bringing it. It feels like it's Sark out there calling plays again because he's getting creative.
Yeah.
with stuff.
Yeah, I mean, look,
that was just.
I think that, you know, this team and the offense, I mean, they're still trending upwards. I mean, the first, like, we did see them. It was interesting because we're seeing them and we're so dialed in on every single play that they do. It's like the screens, right? They tried to run a couple screens. Those weren't the right screens to run, like the misdirection screen. Like, it needs to be more a simplistic screen where, you know, you get the offensive lineman out ahead of you. Like, this was a misdirection. This was like some 49er type stuff. Like, you're not Kyle Shanahan and you don't have those guys right now. Like, do baby steps to get there. What did you think of the play of Jace McClellan? On the night, he had 115 net yards. 27 carries. Coach Saban said after the game he's one of the toughest players on the team. I mean, I think that was his best performance of the entire season. He's been a very steady running back.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think everybody forgets that a little bit, you know. I mean, and that's including myself. Like, the first half, you see him kind of not really getting anywhere, you know, not really getting downfield much. And you're thinking, like, come on, man, put somebody else in, blah, 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 blah. But that one that he had for a touchdown, like, that shows why he is so valuable, because that takes skills to do that. To bounce out like that and take defenders with you and be able to outrun them all, like, that's, you know, I guarantee you scouts in NFL are looking at that and saying, yeah, that's exactly what we need on our team.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got much love for Jace. I've always had a lot of hope for him and his high ceiling. Yeah, I mean, that's why he's out there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because he can do stuff like that, and that's what you want.
What else you got in terms of
all-around, man. You know, I didn't have no stogies to light up like everybody else, but yeah, it was all good though. I was psyched just to see everybody. You know, Will Too Real, Will for Heisman, man.
Yeah.
My man got him a 50-yard field goal.
Dude,
you know, this is
fire.
probably his last time playing Tennessee.
Yep.
Right. This is his last year, so he wanted to go out with a bang. So I think that, yeah, he's going to be missed. But, yeah, man, it was just great. I loved it on everything, man. I mean, and the thing about, we got LSU coming into town, and I think we need to really, we need to figure out how to play those 4 quarters, because LSU is the top that they're going to keep their foot on the gas and keep scoring. Like, so it's going to be hard to come back from a 17-point deficit like that or whatever. That's going to be hard to do with them, because it's not like Joe Milton and them where maybe our defense can stop them. I mean, I think they're still, you know, we still got Braswell and Jaheim Otis and all the other guys that were there last year and feel that sting from LSU beating them too. Because no one feels like LSU deserved to get anything they got last year. This year, maybe so, because their offense is on fire. But last year, man, they were just like, I don't know, they didn't belong at the SEC championship. They just it was a fluke.
Yeah.
Nobody believed in them. That was complete by accident. But yeah, that's how I feel about that.
Well, I appreciate you calling in this morning, Chance. It's always good to rap with you. I'm glad you made time to be a dad and to do the trunk or treat. Always important stuff.
Oh,
and
absolutely,
yeah, right. I mean, it's like you could watch the game on your phone and stuff like that, but you can't get those memories back. Like, those are fleeting. Bama's going to play another game, and yeah, I got you, man. I'm a father too, so I appreciate you calling in this morning, man. And if you want to double dip tonight, man, feel free.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll hit you up tonight.
All right, man. See you, buddy.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide to you, man.
Bye.
All right, that was a Chance out in Georgia. I appreciate the super chat, Jarvis. Jarvis has been a long-time fan. I've always commented on the avatar because I love the Kobe Bryant jersey. It's like, I love that type of Mamba mentality. Like, I like high achievers. I wake up early. I like to perform at a very high level. I'm very critical of my work because I know that you guys deserve the best. I mean, you guys follow the Alabama Crimson Tide, so every time I step on, you know, I want to perform at the highest of levels, and is one of the hardest working men in YouTube. I appreciate that. Love all of the work, and that cigar post-game style was a nice touch. Yeah, I agree. I think that could be like a nice feature after, because one of the things about myself is I like to do that post-game wrap once kind of everything has kind of sunk in, and you can look at the play. They print out the playbook, so you have like all the plays and kind of the game post-game book. So I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much for the super chat and the continued support, Jarvis. We got a 314-803 and a 973 and one call-in line open. I'll get to you guys next right here on Bama Football on YouTube. What's up, Jonathan? I see you inside the comment box as well. Jonathan has also been a longtime fan, man, so we really appreciate your guys' continued support. Alabama, and the question that I have inside the title, and the AP rankings will drop here in a little bit, is if Alabama is a top 10 team. And the reason I ask that is because people continue to ask, and continue to talk about the fact that this team hasn't played 4 quarters and this or that, and they've nitpicked, the quarterback and all this stuff. But I continue to point out to the fact is like, do you really feel, honestly, and I asked this on my shows going into this week, is like, do you really feel that Florida State is better than Alabama? Honestly, you put those two in a cage along with North Carolina. That's what I asked before. And I continue to pick at the ACC because I don't buy that. I'm not buying the Kool-Aid. The Pac-12 too. I think Oregon and Washington are fine teams. Honestly, I really do. But against Alabama, those teams are not better than Alabama. They're not. I think resume-wise right now, they have some nice wins. The Washington win over Oregon, that was nice. Those aren't better teams than Alabama. I think Georgia clearly has the right to say that they are better than Alabama. They won, 24 games in a row. Michigan playing at a very high level. Ohio State, I do have more respect for those type of teams. Texas was a good team. They took an L. I think Oklahoma, they almost took an L yesterday. So the Pac-12, the Big 12, those games get squirrely. North Carolina, I knew that they would lose. Come on. There's no way that North Carolina is a better team than Alabama football. With that, we go back to the phone lines of 314. Hey, thank you very much for calling in. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson, who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
My name is JB, man, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, what's up, JB? I appreciate you calling in from Missouri, man. What's up, man? Welcome to the show.
Hey, man, right on, man. I enjoy your show, first of all, man.
Thank you.
I think you're good man. I was watching you after the game last night also, man. You had some great points after the game. I really enjoyed you smoking that cigar last night, man. It was off the chain. You was cool with it, my brother. But
I love. You know what? Hey. I love cigars. Victory cigar is cool. Someone passionate John saying I'm too biased. No, I'm not, man. Look, the last time Florida State and Alabama played, remember that? We all went to Atlanta and we were there, and Francois was there, and this is supposed to be the Florida State team, and Alabama sent their program back to the 70s. Their program they had 3 or 4 coaches that they had to change. Mike Norvell's doing a good job. He really is. But in terms of them beating Alabama, I don't buy it at all. Sorry, JB. I just kind of had to go on that because I don't buy the team. I don't buy the teams from the ACC. Good, I don't. So
right.
Anyways, you're from St. Louis. Yeah. Observations. What's your take, man?
Oh yeah, man. I just wanted to let you know, man. That was an awesome game yesterday, man. And first of all, man, the McVay family really want to meet you one day too, man. So,
yeah, cool.
We be at the games and stuff. The whole family want to meet you. So
that's what's up.
Hopefully we can get a chance to meet you, man. But I tell you what, though, man. Don't worry, man. We gonna get a chance to see Justin Haynes one day, but man, right now, man, we got to keep them boys rolling on offense, man. I mean, they did some stuff yesterday, man. I don't never give up on Alabama. I've been an Alabama fan a long time, buddy. And ain't no quitting those kids, man. Just hey, I'm telling you right now, man, Alabama gonna win a national championship this year. Bet on it. If you don't believe me, when we talk again, and I say we done won the national championship, you're going to say Jimmy said it, okay? Just remember that. And I'm enjoying your show, man.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
All right, man. All right, take it easy, JB. Appreciate you calling in, man. Short, sweet, and from St. Louis. He's calling out national title. Hey, look, I do think that the Florida State win over LSU was a good win. It is a good win. I mean, Bama's going to have their hands full with LSU, clearly. Good thing that the game is in Tuscaloosa. The quarterback, Jaden Daniels, the dude is elite. Brian Edwards, that wide receiving unit, elite, 100%. I mean, those guys are good. I think that Brian Kelly has done a much better job than I anticipated him to do at LSU, to be honest. And Mike Norvell has done a really good job with that Florida State team. The reason I'm nitpicking Florida State and the ACC is because of the fact that I watched Florida State against Boston College. Should have lost that game. I watched them against Clemson. Granted, that's on the road. It's a tough environment. You're playing against Dabo Sweeney. They should have lost that game. Field goal kicker missed the kick. Florida State should already be out of it. Now, they were losing to Duke last night, able to rally back. You could say things about Alabama this season. I mean, shoot, they never even lead at the halftime break, right? So it's a 4-quarter game. Washington last night, I watched them against Arizona State. I think that the quarterback from Washington is phenomenal. I really like his game. I think he's really good. But just overall, I'm just not buying it. I do like that Utah team. and Penn State, that's a good team too, but I don't think there's a lot of people that thought, that they were really going to beat Ohio State. I mean, I knew Ohio State was going to come with it. All right, we go back to the phone lines, 973. Let's do it. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Kyle, Chris from New Jersey.
What's up,
How you
Chris?
doing?
I appreciate you calling in, man. Thanks for calling in from New Jersey, man. Welcome to the show.
Well, I told you I was going to call you every week and apologize for my middle road chatter. But I did go into the chat a couple weeks ago, and I apologized to your boys in the after. So, listen. Here's what I'm going to quick. I want to change the subject, but I have a quick about this team. What I love is they find a way to win, and that is the most important thing. That's all I'm going to say. Also, the one I also want to say is, Kyle, looking back, how bad was Pete Golding? Oh my God, he owes Saban a national championship, because I was watching and I know they won last night, but wow, I mean, what an upgrade. So, but Kyle, listen, I want to change the subject, and I think this could be a little fitting because this is a bye week. So. And I'm real curious to see what you think about this. So, I don't want to get into politics, but I'll just say this: I am a patriot. I was raised in a single mother household who was an immigrant who became a citizen. I love this country. I'll just say that. But so when they started taking the knee in the NFL, I turned off. So you know what I would do? I would watch the Tide on Saturday. I'd tape it, and I would go through the game on Sunday. No big deal. And that was great. So. And so I'll do a little back channel here. As I played fantasy football years ago, and I thought it turned football awful. And I said, because I was in the stands at the Giants, I'm a New York Giant fan, and I was rooting for the Redskins running back who I had on my team to get a couple touchdowns. And I said, oh man, I can't watch. I can't play fantasy football. Now fast forward to now. And the NFL, and I'll say this: I find myself watching the NFL again for one reason only, Kyle. I'd love to hear what you have to say about this. To watch my Alabama guys. I'm like, what guys from Alabama are on this team, and how are they doing? Now, listen, I'm a Giant fan, so I love Hurts and Smitty and all the other guys on that team, but I can't root for the Eagles. But I'm just out rooting for Alabama fans in the NFL, man. So, what do you think about that?
Well, first of all, I have great respect for this country too. I mean, I fly a flag outside of my house every single day. Yesterday was really amazing because the 74th Squadron from Moody, Georgia, flew over Alabama. Or out over Bryant-Denny Stadium. It was really amazing to see, honestly. And the week before that, it was a stealth bomber. So they recognized someone from the military before every single game, which is really amazing. Yesterday, they recognized the colonel, and it's a great honor because I think a lot of people sometimes forget that freedom isn't free. With you on that point, and I think when you get to Bama in the NFL, it's great to see. I mean, tonight we literally might rearrange the time of my small show, because the greater show tonight is between Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa. And Coach Saban told a great story earlier this week.
I'll be watching that.
Yeah, exactly. Who won't be, right? And earlier, this week, Coach Saban talked about a story with Jalen Hurts and when he was able to put Jalen Hurts on the bench and have Tua come in, which was the right move, by the way, because at that point in time, Tua was the right person for the job, and Coach Saban's job is to win football games. And it's also to develop players who are not playing on the field. It's a tough balance for that's a tough balance, right? How do you continue to tell these guys just believe in yourself, keep practicing, keep in the film room, and you're like, well, and the player's like, well, I'm not playing. Be patient, because look what happened to Jalen Hurts. He handled that like a man. He's so stoic, and what he was able to do was he finished things off at Alabama correctly. He helped Alabama win an SEC championship. Then he was done. Then he went to Oklahoma, and at the same time, he was still taking classes at Alabama because he came back and he graduated from the University of Alabama while he was an Oklahoma Sooner. Then he went back and got his master's degree from Oklahoma, and now he's playing in the NFL. And last year, guess what? When everybody doubted him and everybody said that this wasn't going to be the guy and he was never going to make it in the NFL, guess who played in the Super Bowl last year? Jalen Hurts. The story is so dope. They need a movie about that. They need a movie about him. I love Bama in the NFL. I love the fact that Julio, I know he's a little bit older, but he linked up with the Eagles. I know that's not good news for Giants fans. But you have Devontae Smith, who I think, and I've said this many times, he is the best Alabama wide receiver ever. And I love the fact there was a soundbite just recently, and they're like, hey, Devontae Smith, what happened on that pass? And he's like, I dropped the effing ball. What more do you want me to say? It's like I dropped it, and they're like, "And how can you? And how can you fix it? And what's the story? And what can you learn?" He was like, "I can't learn anything." He's like, "Just catch the damn ball." It was like the dude is like the guy is the alpha among alphas. Chris, any other takeaways from this Bama Tennessee game? I know we kind of segued to Bama in the NFL, which is fine. I'll talk whatever you want to talk about, but any other takeaways when we look to Alabama and Tennessee?
Yeah, one last one is I know that Kool-Aid is getting a little hate about the punt returns. Okay, first of all, does anybody see his coverage this year? He's the number one cornerback in college football. I'll bet anybody that he's the first taken in the NFL draft. He's going to be the first cornerback taken in the NFL draft. And let me tell you something. Not that I've ever done it, but you couldn't have a harder job than to return a punt, where these guys are trying to kill you. And one and a half rough games. Give me a break, man. He's the best guy to do it. Leave him alone. We should thank our lucky stars. He's locking down NFL quality receivers week in and week out.
Yeah. No, there was a play last night against Tennessee. Those Tennessee wide receivers were good. They made some catches, some tough. That one catch that the guy had where he caught it with his pinkies against Chris Broswell, who's our outside linebacker. That catch was amazing. And then there was another catch where I think he went above Terran Arnold and he caught the football. Those guys are good. And that quarterback, Joe Milton, man, he's great and he's big and he put his head down and he ran over a bunch of Alabama players. That's a grown man, 100%. Those are some big quarterbacks yesterday. It's a physical game. That's why I think like the SEC, that was a tough game. It was a huge win for Alabama. All right, Chris, I got to move to my next caller, man. I appreciate the love from New Jersey, man. Call again next time.
Great work, man.
Absolutely, man.
The show is just a home run, man.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks, man. All right, Chris calling in from New Jersey. Appreciate it. We got a 251 up next. Kyle Anderson of Bama Football on YouTube. I think you need to sub out Kool-Aid on the punt returns 100%. I think in terms of his coverage, I think that has been really good. Yesterday, we made a really good play. It was a one-on-one situation. And the thing about Tennessee that made it very challenging for Alabama's defense, in my opinion, and Alabama did a good job adjusting to this. Did you guys notice how far they spread? They used 53 yards of the field. Honestly. So they have one wide receiver in the complete opposite, and that puts your corners on islands. And the thing is that Milton was able to get the football out so fast, just like Middle Tennessee in the first game of the season. Literally, snap it, throw it. So, and those wide receivers, they did a really good job, and it's tough to go against those wide receivers in space. I would honestly like to see Alabama spread the field more. I think that would be good for matchup problems like Isaiah Bond or Burton. Considering the level that he's playing with, if Milroe can get him the football, because it creates one-on-one matches that are very tough to deal with and get those guys in open space. A lot of people talking about Kendrick Law today. rightfully so. He needs more touches. I love when he's returning kicks. He runs downhill. He runs north and south. No, bouncing around, just straight. Lets the speed do his thing. We go back to the phone lines. We got a 251. All right, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, man, it's Robert from Mobile.
Hey, what's up, Robert? I appreciate you calling in, man. Hope you're off to a good start. I'm asking everybody if Alabama's a top 10 team. Does it really matter? Probably not. They just got to keep winning because, in my opinion, they're already in the playoffs. You lose and you're out, and it doesn't even matter where you're ranked. So want to talk rankings, but also get some analysis following Alabama's 34-20 victory over Tennessee.
Yeah, I agree with your last caller, too. I saw a lot of things about the NFL, too, with all that kneeling. I got extremely turned off by it, too, and stopped watching NFL for a while as a result of it. But, yeah, I'm like him also. But now I'm watching more because mainly because they stopped the kneeling crap and because all the Alabama players in it, you just want to, you find yourself, which team do I pull for? There's so many. It's kind of like that. I do agree with some of the calls with Kool-Aid McKinstry on the punts. Guy, if you're not going to catch them, then we can't have you back there. Let them hit the ground, especially in crucial situations like it was within the Tennessee game. I mean, we can't lose 15, 20, 30 yards when you can catch it at least. So if you don't feel confident in that, maybe you should. I guess if someone was better, the same would already have him back there, but we really need to work on getting his confidence back on catching the ball. Once again, it's a tale of two halves. If this team ever figures out a way to put two halves together, football together, they'd be the most dominant team in college football. Mm-hmm. They forget about losing; they would be hands down better than everybody else.
Yep.
I think maybe in that second half in the Tennessee game, the coordinator has finally figured out what he can do with Jalen Milroe and how he can make that work. I mean, right now, Alabama needs to be 2016 Jalen Hurts all over again. That style of play, that style of play calling, and with him, Milroe running the ball more, the way Jalen Hurts did, with this defense, can take Alabama all the way with to the national championship. I don't know about we will be a national championship team like one of the other callers said. It'd be great, but we can do it if that guy had if the offense coordinator would be as creative as Lane Kiffin was with Jalen Hurts during his freshman year. I watched the Tennessee Alabama game in 2016 on YouTube not too long ago, and Lane Kiffin was just brilliant in his play calling in that game with Jalen Hurts. That can work. If Reese was to do the same thing with Milroe, and if Milroe is willing to, more play that role, this is not your Milroe's NFL year here. He's not going to the NFL next season, next year. So you don't have to worry about impressing the NFL. Which winning impresses the NFL a lot more than you stand in the pocket trying to show that you can be a pocket quarterback. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you win, and let's see how impressive that is to the NFL. So, challenge your inner Cam Newton, your inner Jalen Hurts, and take us to a championship. If he does that, we're good to go. And the entire game, not just in the second half when I guess we got to do this now. Mm-hmm. No, you do it the entire game, and we can dominate. I don't see any way they can keep Alabama out of the top 10. They'll be in the top 10, probably, 9, maybe even 8. Penn State, lost, but what win? I look at Penn State schedule. I don't see no win. A win that's better than Alabama's win over Ole Miss. Mm-hmm. So why are you shouldn't be over Alabama because you lost to Ohio State close. Mm-hmm. And there are, fortunately for us, there are no dominant teams in college football this season. None. Everybody struggled. Yep. All teams have struggled against competition. You think they shouldn't have. So that's out there for everybody, which means that we can just find that gear and find what works for Milroe. We can pull this out. And I agree with your last call too about Pete Golden. Goodness gracious, that guy causes at least 2 championships with his incompetence. He's night and day compared to now we're elite again. That's what Peacon could never do. He could never get us elite. Our defense was always with him good enough, just good enough. And good enough depending on how good your offense was. Fortunately for him, 2020 was the best offense in college football, the history of college football. So good enough, you didn't need that. All you needed was to keep the team under 30, and that was good enough. On most occasions, sometimes they had to really crank it up because your incompetence would give the teams 40 points.
Yep.
But anywho, so it's great to finally get Pete Golden out there, and we can see what can happen when we have somebody that's competent on the defensive side as a coordinator. Now we have a little more creativity on the offensive side. This team could really go.
Yeah.
Now, can we clean up some mistakes? Yeah. Miro, I really need you to give me those game manager throws, 10 yards, 15 yards, when you guys got a step or it makes a slant, you got a step. If you can give me those game manager throws, that would work too. We can really go to town with that. But the key right now is the second half was really great, and it started with Miro, getting more yards rushing and taking off and running. That really, the team looks different when he does that. Everything looks different.
Mm-hmm.
So let's make that work.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that this team? I mean, when you and I love the points of you and Chris about Pete Golding, because like the defense is just night and day different than the past couple years. And I guess like I had always questioned the defense too, but now that you're like actually seeing these guys in the level that the defense is playing at, that's why I'm saying, that's why I continue to say, if the offense was ever to keep up with the defense, this team could win the whole thing. Because as you just said, and I think as Passion said inside the comment box, there's not a complete dominant team this year in college football. I guess you could look right now to Michigan, but we could pull up their schedule right now, and you could tell me one good win that is like, oh, I believe in Michigan. Yeah. I think they're good. They're a good team, 100%. So was Ohio State, and so is Georgia, right? Like they're winning, but they're not dominant as we've seen in the past. So I think it's still wide open. And so Robert, I know this is hypothetical, and I've been talking about Florida State and North Carolina and teams from the ACC. Do you feel that those teams are like actually better than Alabama collectively based off?
Well, we know that's not the case.
Thank you.
Yeah, we know that's not the case. In fact, I'm looking for Florida to do the SEC a solid and take down Florida State when that game comes up. I fully expect Florida to win that game. If Florida State doesn't lose before then, I hate they caught LSU at a bad time, because if they played LSU again, it'd be a totally different game. Like if Texas played Alabama again, it'd be totally different. Mm-hmm. I guess that's what the bad thing about the college football is. There's no preseason, and you don't get the chance to iron out some of the the stuff, put some oil on the wheels before the games actually count, like you do in the NFL. So you're playing them a live game. So when people start out with Patsy U and Easy U start the season, you kind of understand why they're doing it. Because there are no preseason here, we need to beat Patsy U and Easy U to get these to see where the wheels need oiling and get some oil on them first, and then we'll play the tougher teams down the road when the wheels are turning better. But we didn't, because it doesn't have that. And LSU and Alabama played these teams at a time when, wait, we missed that wheel there. We didn't get no oil there. Now we lost the game. Oh, well, there's a well now, okay, we're ready to play you now, but it's too bad the game's lost. Which, again, was why the expanded college football playoff should have happened decades ago. Because there shouldn't be, you want to see Texas and Alabama, LSU and Florida State early in the season. But where's their incentive to play these games if the cost is, well, heck, if I had done what Georgia did, play Easy U, Patsy U, and they're still number one because they hadn't lost. I took a chance to play this tougher game and get to entertain the masses. I lose it, and I'm out. Where's my incentive to play those games in the future? Now there's still an incentive because, okay, you're not out. You lost it. Okay, that's fine. You still got it. You still get in the playoff, and you can still prove it and win it out later. Mm-hmm. There's the incentive to get these early good games. Now, college football can be so slow when it comes to positive change. It's astounding.
Yep. I'm gonna bring up, well, first of all, two things wrong with Robert from Mobile. Number one, this photo is the best photo so far that Alabama has posted. This is Coach Saban walking in with the players behind him into the Walk of Champions. They walk into this tunnel, and Coach Saban looks like he is ready for the biggest business trip that he has. And he said after the game that he loves this team, that he likes coaching this team. And he said that he's like, they might be taking some years off my life, but I'm okay with that. He was like, because I like the resiliency of the team. I like the fact that they have fight. It's not a complete team. Like this year, Coach Saban is coaching, and he's always coaching, right? And he's always talking about, like, they recently asked him, how long do you work? 12 hours a day. And he really does. He really does, probably even more so than that. And he's in it, but like, he's coaching 100%. He's coaching his new offensive coordinator, his old defensive coordinator. They're bringing things up to speed. They're changing things. The college football world is always evolving. Imagine having to deal with the organization of the transfer portal, name, image, and likeness. Hey, coach, this player, has to be here for a name, image, and likeness. These things, like, and he continues to evolve with it, and he's enjoying it. He's enjoying coaching, and he's doing a great job. And I know he's having a really good time. I mean, it's stressful. I was texting someone yesterday, and I was like, these college football Saturdays aren't relaxing for Alabama fans, as they once were. It's stressful. It's a high anxiety type season. Okay, so this hasn't been a season filled with anxiety for Michigan football. What we are looking at right here is the 2023 Michigan football schedule. Let's go through it. They have been dominant. I mean, they've been beating every single team by a wide margin. I think they have the number one defense in all of the land.
Who wouldn't?
Thank you. East Carolina, okay, 30-3. UNLV 35-7. Bowling Green 31-6. Rutgers 31-7. Nebraska 45-7. Minnesota 52-10. Indiana 52-7. Michigan State 49-0. Upcoming games. Their season doesn't really start until November. You have Purdue. They're also open this weekend. So then you have Purdue, and then you take on Penn State. Now, you do go to Happy Valley to take on the Nittany Lions. And then you go to...
Yeah, that's a challenge.
Then you go to Maryland to take on Coach Locks and Talia Tongavaloa. Look, Maryland, they went toe-to-toe with Ohio State for a half, and then you take on Ohio State. The good thing for Jim Harbaugh and company is the fact that game is at the Big House in Michigan. So there's kind of a look at the Wolverines' schedule. But as you can see, I mean, the games that they have played in, they have been dominant in those games. But like you said, who wouldn't? So let's, while we're looking at college football schedules, I have to do this. Let's go ahead and look at Florida State, just for the time being. Robert, anything else on Michigan football or anything else top 10 related before I let you go?
Hey, like we said earlier, who wouldn't be able to run that schedule? If Alabama and Michigan got into let's switch schedule contest, Michigan would be screaming and hollering, there's nowhere in the world I'm going to play your schedule. Alabama would say, oh, why not? So it's but they want to keep the SEC. They got a chance to keep the SEC out of the playoff because because they know that in the future they're not going to be able to keep Alabama or SEC teams out. So I guess they're trying to. That's why they're downplaying the SEC right now. But okay, that's okay. I think Michigan could probably run the whole thing, which is fine. But like you said, they still wouldn't have been challenged, and they end up probably getting shown up like they did the last time they made it to the playoff against a good SEC team, and they got against Georgia, and they got trounced because they really had it showed they really hadn't played anybody. Yeah. But okay, it was a great win, and hopefully we'll do keep it up next weekend. All right, man.
All right, man. Take it easy. Thank you very much, Robert. I appreciate you calling in. All right, that was Robert calling in from Mobile. I appreciate it. Hey, fam, you guys want to double dip tonight? You guys could call back. I'm going to look at the schedule. Let's actually look at this together because let's see, Miami versus Philly game time. Because I don't want to take away. I'm not going to go head-to-head for Tua and Jalen. Are you kidding me? So that game is at 7:20. So maybe if we do a call-in show at 6:20, That could get us to, or we do a show at 6 tonight. Let's do a show at 6 tonight, get to 7. That way we can all watch the game together. So how about that? 6 tonight on Sunday. We'll move the show up an hour. We'll just do an hour of a show, break it down, kind of go into the next week. And then I'm thinking about this. Let me know inside the comment box. So, I mean, this is what I do for a full-time living, and I was thinking about it, and I was kind of looking at my weekly schedule. I think I have enough availability to do a daily live show in the mornings at 9 a.m. Just be like this, an hour. You guys call in. We talk about the hot topics of college football, about Alabama football, clearly. So every day at 9, call in, rap. I think it would be something that could take off. If I didn't get your calls right now, I will get you tonight at 6. If you guys want to double dip, go ahead. Alabama now 7-1 on the season. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for all the continued support. And yeah, last night's show, that was fun, smoking the cigar from Bryant-Denny Stadium. It's always, I was actually, I promise you. So 2 things before I go. Number 1, I was the very last person in at Bryant-Denny Stadium last night. Literally everybody had left, and I was walking out of the stadium and I was locked inside Bryant-Denny Stadium by myself. Yes. And so I was locked in, but this is the thing that I need to show that I was going to talk about. Okay. So you cannot walk onto the field. Like, you can't, like, they will snipe you. You will get sniped, honestly. So last night, some, I don't know, probably drunk Alabama fan, it looked like, ran onto the field. You got to see it. It's on social media. I need to ask them if I can put the video on YouTube because it's their property. I don't want to, like, take away their stuff. So the fan is running onto the field, and the security guard, because you know how usually, like, these fans are kind of squirreling, they can kind of dance around. No, this security guard in a big yellow jacket, you know those jackets that they wear that say, they're like windbreakers that say, security, he ran and he knocked the shit out of this dude so bad that the guy's sunglasses flew into the air, and then he, like, stood over him. I'm serious. It was like, if this guy needs to, if he has any more eligibility, I'm sure Kevin Still would love to have him, because I'm serious. If you saw it, he got smashed. Like, it was the biggest hit on Saturday. There was no bigger hit than what happened on that fan. Don't run onto the field. They clearly say don't run onto the field. Like, follow the rules. Yeah, so that's on Twitter. Just type in, yeah, it was a hit stick. Anyways, all right. So I appreciate you guys being with me today. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content. Hit the subscribe button so you're always notified when I drop videos. Yeah, Ed, the videos on Twitter, I don't want to steal this dude's content because that's, like, his content. But if it is, upload it as a YouTube short if he says it's cool, and you guys can check it out because it's phenomenal. I saw it this morning. I was dying laughing. So catch me tonight, 6 p.m. Central Time. I appreciate you guys being here. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe, and check out any of our other content that we got going forward right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Have a good rest of your day. See ya.